In this video, I'm going to show you the difference between working for yourself, how much you can earn working for yourself, and how much you can earn working for the man or being an employee. So if you're an employee, it's going to be complicated. You're going to be earning like very little. So I'm going to show you here on the screen. As you can see here, this is my pay stub when I used to be a slave of a company. So as you can see here, at least in US, when you have here the W2, is because you're an employee, you're going to pay very little. And remember, people or companies, they are going to pay you just enough so that way you don't quit, or enough just so that way you can do the job, and that's it. It doesn't matter. You can be a janitor, you can be, engineer or anything like that. If you work for yourself, you always are going to be earning more than if you work for a company. Of course, when you work for a company, I mean, they have to make a profit. They're not going to give you all the profit to you, of course, but because you don't know, or whatever is the reason, or maybe you are by the influence of your wife, girlfriend or something like that, and she will say, no, I want to be safe, I want to have a steady income. And you're wondering, what are you saying? I mean, a steady income, that is the worst thing that can happen to you. You want something that that you can increase your income all the time. So the more effort you put, the more income you can make. But in a job, job means just over broke, you're going to make just enough so that way you can live. I mean, if you see most of the people, they make enough just to pay the bills and to put some food in the table, on the table, and that's it. It's not like 50 or 80 years ago when one guy could be the head of the family and earn enough to maintain the whole family. We are not in the gold standard anymore, so every time you earn a few dollars here and there, you're going to all those dollars are going to decrease in value over time. So that is the bad thing. So as you can see here, now we are in 2023. But when I used to work for this company, as you can see here, we have the W2. This is the pay stub. So I used to earn, as you can see here, $68,000. And back then it was pretty good. I mean, most people that were earning maybe like 30,000 a year or something like that. And I was making like almost $5,000 a month. So, but if you see here, the problem that you have here is the federal income tax. So from my $68,000, so $8,000 goes to the government. I have the Social Security is almost 4,300, and then I have the Medicare is almost 1,000, and that is no sales tax. That doesn't cover sales tax or anything like that. When you go buy a food, a car, or anything like that, you have to renew your driver's license or your tax or anything like that. You have to keep paying. So when you want to realize, you're paying like 60% of your total income just to the government, and you can keep 40 if you're lucky. So that is the problem that you're going to see here. So I'm going to also tell you when is convenient be an employee, and when, because everything I'm telling you, there is a time for you to be an employee, but there is another time that is not convenient to be an employee. Also, if you see here on the bottom, it says state income tax, 3,500. I have a local income tax, another $500. And when you want to realize, I'm earning like 50,000 or something like that. So it's very little. So I'm going to do some math so that way you can see. All right. So here we have 68,215, and then we're going to deduct 7,900 or 72. There we go. Subtract 4,229. Subtract 989, and then we have the state income tax 3,560, and then subtract 500 for the local income tax. And yep, $50,000. So basically you're losing like, again, like 40%, 50% easily of your total revenue that you're getting. So this is crazy. Here now in a little bit, I'm going to show you the checks that I have, showing you that I'm getting paid, $5,000, $2,000, $3,000, $800 just a day, just for one job. I go there a few hours, I do the job, and then I go to another customer, and then I do the job, and then I get paid again. And when I was working as an employee, it's like, again, with this example, it's like about $200 a day. It's not that much. Even in today's, even if you can make $400, I mean, it's not that much. I mean, if you can make $1,000 a day, $2,000, $3,000 a day, okay, now we're talking another numbers, and that is much better. So the problem that you're going to have when you're an employee is that you cannot deduct anything almost. I mean, maybe just few things if you bought something for the employer, for the company or something like that. But other than that, I mean, if you buy a new TV, if you buy a new computer, if you fix your car, or if you buy things that you need for the work, it's most likely you're not going to be able to deduct anything. But in case when you like in my case, when I have a company, so for instance, this is a huge TV, this is a touch screen, so this is a 4K TV. I bought it, I use it to make video classes and everything, and I can write it off from my taxes. If I need a new car, I can put advertising on my car, or I can use it just to visit customers and everything, you can write it off. If the car it breaks down, you can write it off. You have to talk with your accountant, but many things. If I need a new computer, I just buy it for my company, and that's it. Mostly all the cameras, whatever you see here, I buy it for my business, and I can deduct everything. If I see at the end of the year, I have to pay X amount of taxes, I can say, okay, what can I buy? So that way I don't have to pay any taxes, or as little as possible. But when you're an employee, you cannot do any of that. So now I'm going to show you some of the checks that I've been collecting just this year. So as you can see, it's 2023. So for instance, here I have a 750. This is for a few hours of work. So here I'm going to show you another one. So here we have a 2100. Again, for another day of work. Here 900, 950. 670, 300. This is for a tiny shop, or maybe a visit or something like that. Okay, here another 450. So 1,000, almost 2,000 here. You see, Gabak is here is my last name, but this guy, he put my last name instead of the company's name. But it doesn't matter. Here is almost $3,000. Here I have another one for $2,000. Gabak, that is my company. Here Gabak again. This is for $200. Here we have another one for almost 3,000. Gabak again. Here we have another for $14,000. Here we have another for 11,000. So here we have another for 2,400. Another for 1,600. Almost 500 here. 800. So on. As you can see, you can keep going and going and going, and you see, I mean, you can make a lot more than if you're an employee. If you're an employee, you're toast. You're going to make it just, as little as possible, whatever is the company willing to pay you. Of course, they cannot give you all the profit, but this is the part of the risk that you're taking. You're going to be earning like very little. Here I have another for almost 2,000, 600, 700, 800, 300, 350, almost 300. 500, 250, little jobs, 250. Here another for 250, and I have a lot of these checks. I don't keep them all, but these are, this is just a sample, so that way you can see here almost 1,500, here for another 1,000. So when it's convenient to be an employee? So if you're just starting, you know, you're 18, I don't know, 16, I don't know what part of the world you are, and when are you allowed, you know, when you are allowed to work. So let's say you're 18, 20, and so say, okay, I don't have any experience, you know, I am just out of high school and I need some experience. Okay, grab whatever you can get, no big deal. You know, many people do that. They go to McDonald's or Wendy's or Burger King or one of those these franchisees, and they, you know, they start working, they flip burgers, or they start learning, you know, how things work, and you know, at least you get some experience, and then you can, you know, go in little by little, learning new things. Like when I used to work for this company, you know, I learned a lot of things, but economically it was, I mean, it was okay just to live, but I wasn't satisfied. And the good thing is, because I had my YouTube channel, you know, I was having a few customers, you know, here and there. It's not like now. Like now, I have customers, you know, like almost all the time, and I can make more doing that than you know, back then. If I knew what I know back then, you know, I would say, no, forget it. I'm not going to be working for any company or anything like that. I will not get, you know, pressured by the wife or anything like that. Say, no, you have to have some steady income or anything like that. You know, you just work for yourself no matter what, and you make a big buck and make a big difference in the world. And then, you know, you're going to move ahead faster. Otherwise, you're going to be, you know, begging on the street, or if you have, you know, if your car breaks down or something like that, the transmission goes out, the engine dies or something like that, you'll say, oh, what do I do now? I don't have any cash, or I have a few dollars here, and I have to use my credit card. And then, you know, when you want to realize, you're up to here of debt, and you cannot move ahead in life. The other way that you can be an employee, if you want to be an employee, is you have your own company, and then you are employee of your company, but you manage everything. You know, you have, if you need a supercomputer, a new car, or something like that, you have all the resources, you know, to buy everything, and you can pay yourself as little as possible, so that way you pay very little taxes. And if you want to buy maybe a house or something like that, most banks, they're going to say, okay, what is your W2 or anything like that? And if you want to buy a house and you need, you know, to prove some income besides the income that you have from your company. So if you do what I'm doing, you know, trying to pay as little as possible, you know, in taxes and everything, you can say, okay, yep, I have this income from my company. You know, I've been working for my company for over 6 months or a year or something like that, and then you can manage the numbers, and that's it. So that is the only trick. If you're not going to ask, you know, for any loan or anything like that, because you're doing more than enough, you don't have to worry about being an employee or anything like that. You can do whatever you want, and that's it. At least that is what I do, and it works great for me. So hopefully this video was useful. If you have any question, please let me know in the section below. And if you want to learn more about, you know, how to have your own company, or, you know, what needs to be done to have your own company, read the 10x rule by Grant Cardone. Very good. Also, he has a lot of books about selling, so be able to sell your product and service is very important for your company. Otherwise, you're going to starve. And if you do everything that he said in the book, you should be able to do very well in life. So again, thank you for watching. If you want to watch more videos about entrepreneurship or any other thing, go to the playlist in my YouTube channel, and you can see everything that I teach. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.